Goals of a school are totally different to the goals of students and what people may believe the goals of those lessons are. Now, Japan is very, very similar from what you've just said in terms of Italian, in that, the two main things that they study at that age group, and that's the age group that I used to teach junior high school. The two main things they study is English, bizarrely enough, when you consider, you go to Japan and nobody speaks English, and Japanese. And they also do put a lot of time into studying their own language. That's partly because of the writing system, which is, has to be learned and developed over a very long period of time. But they do also look at the grammatical structure of their language and things like that. Now, one very, very strong idea, it's kind of an idea, but it's something that's been argued about in the research literature extensively, and I'm inclined to agree with it, is that really the main goal of English in Japan, and whether this is the same in Italy or not, I don't know, but it's been argued that the main goal of English in Japan is actually to do with increasing the Japaneseness of a person. It creates contrast. By comparing and contrasting the first language, which we're also studying the syntax of, with the syntax of another language, we really develop a better sense of our own language. And that was also kind of explained to us when I studied French at school, that one of the reasons why we do it is because you learn to understand your own language better. Well, I didn't, because I didn't really study. However, when I was at school, I don't know whether it's changed now or not. They used to teach English grammar and things at school. That stopped at some point. When I was at school, we never got to our own grammar, which is kind of disappointing now I think about it. Whether that's reverted back to how it was or not, I don't know. So the point there is that often the goals of what is being done in schools is very, very different to what we would expect the goals to be. Now, again, I can only use Japan as a real example here, but actually the reality is if everybody got really, really good at English at school in Japan, one, it would be totally useless because there really aren't that many situations where people need a high level of English in Japan. Two, it's actually not in the best interests of the government, because where Japan has big problems right now is not with highly skilled, highly intelligent, elite people. It's actually that they need more factory workers. They need more people sweeping the streets. So the educational system is naturally going to be, and this is controversial and people don't like it, but this is the reality of how governments work. The educational system really is set up to funnel the majority into factory work, sweeping the streets, lower tier industries, and then really just segment out a small percentage who are then going to be the international elite ambassadors of the country and all that stuff. Again, the point I'm trying to make here is often the goals of a school are totally different to the goals of students and what people may believe the goals of those lessons are. And what that then means is that you're always going to be prescribed, given a framework, and you just have to do the best that you can within that framework. Thank you.